Linda, thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
What's your real name? Tell me your name.
Linda Lou Stanley Harris.
Linda Lou Stanley Harris.
Stanley Harris.
When were you born?
March 24th, 1941.
What's your current address, Linda?
429 South Street in Wheelersburg, Ohio.
Where did you live before then?
I grew up in Coal Grove, Ohio, 301 Pike Street, and then my parents separated and my mother came back here to Wheelersburg, where she's from, and I ended up going to Wheelersburg High School, graduated from there, and then I went to nursing school at Mercy Hospital in Portsmouth, Ohio.
What were your parents' names?
Luvinda McHenry Stanley, and Earl Thomas Stanley.
Okay. And now let me see how far you can go back. What were your mother's parents' names? I mean, I know them,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
you tell me.
Zelma and Edward McHenry.
And that was Zelma Pollard, wasn't it?
Zelma Pollard, yes.
I might say for the record here that we are cousins, so I know a little bit about our family tree.
Right.
Okay, so that was Zelma Pollard, and Edward Clinton, I think was his real name.
Right,
McHenry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Zelma, or your grandmother's parents' names, do you know that?
Jonathan Pollard and I want to say Nancy Jane. I think it was Norris
Okay.
for that.
Has anybody written down the family tree, or anybody looked into it?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
No.
Your grandfather was Edward. What were his parents' names?
Riley McHenry.
That's Wiley, isn't it?
Wiley.
Uh-huh.
Wiley McHenry, and I think his mother's name was Susan.
Okay. Can you go back any further than that?
Not really. I have gone in the past, or I had a book, but I don't remember the names now.
Okay. Now, where did you go to school?
I went to high school in Wheelersburg, Ohio,
What year did you graduate?
1959.
Okay. And do you have any siblings?
Oh yes. I have a brother who is deceased, Richard Stanley, Richard Lewis Stanley, and sister Nancy Jane Stanley, who is deceased. Her last name is Kirk. And then there's myself, and a younger sister is Norma Ann McCoy.
She's still living, isn't she?
Yes, she is. She lives in North Carolina.
North Carolina? Okay. Now, did you have any children?
Yes, I have a son and daughter.
And the son's name is what?
Son's name is Parham David Harris. And my daughter's name is Shauna Nanine Harris Lester.
Do you have any grandchildren?
Oh yeah, I've got, my oldest grandson is Logan Chance Lester. He's 21, and he has a son. And then my granddaughter is Sasha Nanine Lester, and she's 18. And then I have a younger grandson, Connor James Lester, and he's 9.
9. You're retired, or what was your occupation?
I was a registered nurse, and I basically worked about 29 years for the government, first the Navy and then the VA.
When you got out of high school, what year was that, 1940?
That was 1959.
That's when you graduated from high school?
Right.
What did you do then, right after you graduated? Did you work a while?
I graduated like in May, and in September I entered the Mercy Hospital School of Nursing.
Mercy Hospital, that's in Portsmouth,
That's
wasn't
in Portsmouth,
Okay. So how long was that program?
That was a 3-year program, diploma program. And I chose that. There was a lot of hospitals who had nursing schools at that time. And so I could have chosen a 4-year for a degree, but I was afraid I wouldn't like it.
Okay.
So,
Did you like it though?
oh yes. Oh
You
yes.
like nursing?
Yes. Yes.
Did you get was it an RN degree or
It was an RN.
registered nurse?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you, after you got your degree, what did you do then? I assume you worked as a nurse somewhere.
I worked for about a year at Ohio State University Hospital, and then I came down to Nelsonville, Ohio. That's where my mother was doing student teaching there. So I was there for about 6-8 months, and I worked at Mount St. Mary's Hospital there in Nelsonville, Ohio. And then from there I went into the Navy.
What made you want to join the Navy?
I always wanted to join the Navy. I wanted to be a Navy nurse before I ever went to high school.
Really?
Yes. And it wasn't just a nurse, it was a Navy nurse.
Navy nurse.
Yes.
Okay.
I had my aunt was an inspiration to me. Her
Aunt
name,
who? Catherine?
Catherine McHenry. And we lived in Coal Grove, and she trained in nursing at Huntington, West Virginia. I believe a Memorial Hospital, I believe that was what it's called. And we would go up there and get her and bring her home for the weekend or whatever, I can't remember. But I was little, but I remember we'd wait in this waiting room and had this big giant Coke machine and a black and white tile on the floor, and it smelled of ether. And I loved ether. I loved the smell of ether.
Okay.
Yeah, weird. But, and then too, this was during World War II, so she was a Navy cadet. And she had this lovely Navy cape with the red lining, and I fell in love with that, and I wanted one.
First there's ether, and then there's a Navy
Yeah.
cape?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really. So, but I never got the cape. That wasn't an issue to us by the time I got there.
But Aunt Catherine was quite an inspiration then.
Yes, she was. She was, very much.
When did you get married? What was it?
I got married in 1969.
Were you in the Navy then?
Yes, I was still in the Navy.
Okay.
I married a Marine aviator.
Marine aviator?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was his name again?
Robert Merrill Harris.
Robert Merrill Harris. And when did you join the Navy? What year? Do you
It was in March of 1964.
Okay. Where did you did you have to do basic training?
We had indoctrination up in Newport, Rhode Island for about 10 weeks. Mm-hmm. And there was 10 of us in my class. And we would go to lunch. We'd go to lunch at the OCS school, and they would divide us 10 girls up from one girl to each table of guys. It was really strange, but anyway.
One girl to each table. There were 10 tables?
Well, there were more than 10 tables, but they divided us up,
Okay.
for that.
Why didn't they want you to be together, I wonder?
I just figure they wanted us to scintillate, I don't know.
Okay. So that was 10 weeks. Did you like that training? Did you like being there?
Yes. A lot of the girls had trouble with the rules and the things they were supposed to do and being told, to do things. Mm-hmm. But I didn't find that a problem. Of course, I came from Mercy Hospital, which was run by Catholic nuns, so it was no big deal for me to go from there to the military.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then after that, where did you go? You were 10 weeks there at Newport News?
Newport, Rhode Island.
Newport, Rhode Island.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Then what?
And then my first duty station was Pensacola, Florida. It was a naval air station.
Now, when you went in, what rank did you go in as?
I went in as an ensign, which is the most junior officer.
Okay. Now, by the time you get to Pensacola, then, are you still an ensign or?
Yes, I was an ensign for like 18 months.
18 months? Mm-hmm. And then what? Where did you?
And then I went to lieutenant junior grade.
Okay.
And then went to lieutenant after that, after 2 years.
Okay. I think lieutenant is kind of like captain in the Army or something.
It's the same.
Okay. Now, how long were you at Pensacola?
2 years.
Okay.
2 years.
And did you like Pensacola? Did you like it down there?
Yes, I like Pensacola. Yeah, it was most of the it's young people there. Mm-hmm. They train the guys for the airplanes, prop and jets.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so the social life was good. you know.
Is that where you met your husband?
Actually, I met him there, yes, but then we didn't see each other for a long time, and
Okay.
he was, you know, I met him through another friend, and then he encountered me in Japan. He came up from Vietnam to take some troops back, and so he found out I was there. So
He was in Vietnam. He was a flyer in Vietnam.
he was a flyer in Vietnam. He was in Vietnam twice.
Okay.
He was over there as on the ground, and then he got his wings. He commissioned through his flight program. So
Now, after Pensacola, is it when you went to Japan then after that?
yes,
Okay.
Yokosuka, Japan.
Okay. Then, where were you in Japan? What was your base there?
It was Yokosuka. It's a big docking station, naval station. The ships would dock in there. Yeah, I was there for 2 years.
You were in Japan for 2 years? Did
2
you
years.
like that station?
Oh yes. If I hadn't had to come home, I wouldn't have.
Stayed.
I loved Japan. Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been back?
No, I haven't.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
It would be very fun, but I'm sure it's changed a lot too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because it changed a lot from the time I was there and the 2 years I was there. You can see
So
it
what
change.
was that duty like though? I mean, it was a good duty and I mean, you would, you weren't married at that time.
Right.
Okay. Did you have a good social life? Or did they go out?
Yeah, big social life, yeah. But we were very busy. You know, you didn't have time to do a lot of sightseeing. I did some, and but then we were busy with patients. We had all kinds of.
What kind of
beds.
nurse were you? What, was there a specialty that you had?
No, I did everything but work in the kitchen. Yeah, wherever was needed.
Everything but the kitchen.
Right.
Okay. Did you like that time? You hadn't gotten tired of nursing by then, had you? Or,
I've never gotten tired of nursing. No, it's just.
or the Navy?
Or the Navy, neither. Yeah, but it was a big course in compassion.
Or was it?
Yes, yeah, just learn.
Have you kept in contact with any of your fellow Navy nurses or anybody?
Yes, I have one that we were together. She was in Pensacola when she left there just before I came, and then we ended up together in Japan. So she's still living, and
Where does she live?
she lives in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
Okay. You ever been down to visit her?
Yes, I have.
Have you?
A couple times.
That's good.
Yeah.
So Japan 2 years, and well, Pensacola was 2 years.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
right.
Okay, so
And then from Japan, I came back to Santa Ana Marine Corps Air Station, Santa Ana, California.
how long were you there?
I was there for about a year, and that's where my husband was. He was stationed there. He had been wounded in Vietnam, and he spent almost a year at Oakland
Oh wow.
Hospital. They had to do a couple of bone grafts on his leg. So he ended up in the El Toro Marine Base, and I was there too. So
There you go.
yeah, it was
That's the story of that.
that was it. Yeah,
Okay.
that was
Is
it.
that where you got married there?
Yes, we did on the base.
Okay. So you're there about a year, but you get married there. So where did you go? Were you able to go together somewhere, or what was your next station?
That was my only station. You know, we got married, and then a month later I was pregnant. So, and you know, at that time they wouldn't let you have dependents.
Oh,
You know, so I dragged my feet. I was 5 months pregnant before I got out.
oh my.
So
You had to get out then.
I had to get out. Yeah.
That was
And
the rule then.
Yeah. 2 years later, they changed the ruling.
Did you go back in?
No, I made an attempt to, but I didn't. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I had 2 kids then. They were little, and my priorities changed.
So did you travel then? What was your husband's name? Was it Robert?
Robert.
Okay. So did you travel with him around to bases? Did he make a career out of it?
He had been in there for 11 years
11
when he
years.
got out.
Okay.
He got out right after our son was born, and basically he was looking to a third tour of Vietnam, and he didn't want to go.
Okay. Is that when you ended up in Cold Grove, or what happened?
No, we lived in Yuma. That's where my son was born.
Where was it?
Yuma, Arizona.
Yuma, Arizona.
And from there we came back here. He had never been here. And
Where was he from?
he was from basically Colorado, around Denver area, Aurora.
So you dragged him back to Ohio?
Yeah. Never heard the last of it either.
Okay, that's another story.
Yeah.
Okay, and now after you returned home, where was Catherine at that time? I think this inspiration that she gave you.
Yeah, she was, she had been to Japan, and then before coming home from Japan, she'd gone to Guam. And she talked about the power going out and them doing surgery by flashlights.
Oh my.
And then she came back to the States, and she was at Camp Lejeune for a long time, North Carolina.
What experiences did you have? I mean, here's Catherine doing surgery by flashlight. Did you have any unique experiences in the hospital or nursing?
Well, my experiences was on the floor, directly with the patients. Yeah, I took care of a lot of injured guys. There was a lot of limbs lost, and
Vietnam?
from Vietnam, yeah.
Wow.
And this one kid, he was 19-year-old. He was a Canadian volunteer,
Oh my.
and he had thrown himself on a grenade to save his buddies.
Oh my.
So he lost a leg and an arm and part of the hand of the other arm, and he had about 20-some holes in his chest and abdomen. So I took care of him for a long time, and that's when, as far as the Navy goes, the ICUs came into vogue. We just separated the most critical patients in a small area, where we could watch them closer. We didn't have monitors then. So it's just eyeball. And but he was, like I say, he was 19 years old. He should have been playing football for somebody, But
What happened to him, do you know?
well, we had him. He went through 9 surgeries. He went into shock 3 times. They didn't think he was going to make it. So the Marine Corps sent for his mother, and she came over there. And we put her up in the nurses' quarters. And anyway, he ended up going home. And we got a letter from him stating that he was managing a motel for his mother in Quebec. And the Marine Corps had fixed him up a car that he could maneuver. So that's all I know.
It's about as best as it could get for him.
Yes,
then, wasn't it?
yes.
That's good, because of you.
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
So you liked the Navy and you liked nursing, and
Oh yes.
that got pregnant.
Yeah, that wasn't, yeah,
Part of the plan.
that was part of the plan.
What did your folks think about you going into the Navy and going?
Well, my mother never said too much. She just thought it was okay, but because her sister had gone in the Navy. But she thought, well, I remember one time she wanted me to come home,
You mean quit? And come
Yeah,
home?
she wanted me to come home. I said, Mom, it doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work that.
Yeah, doesn't work that way.
You can't turn in your 2-week.
No, you can't do that.
Okay.
And then my dad was dead set against it. In fact, that's why I waited almost 2 years before I went in, because he said, oh, you're not the type. Well, I didn't understand what he meant by the type. That's what I wanted to do. And so I kind of lingered for close to 2 years before I went in. And then and I found out years later that his sister had tried nursing, and she couldn't stand it. She didn't like the sights and the smells and whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he got the idea that there's a type.
Well, after you'd been in for a while, he could see that you.
Oh yeah, he was very proud. Yeah.
He was. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Do you have any pictures and that sort of thing of yourself in uniform?
Yes, I brought one. It's in my
Let me
purse.
see it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Is that your DD 214?
That's right. I didn't know whether I was supposed to have that or not. And it's,
Oh, look at that. Linda Lou Stanley. There you are.
yeah,
Very nice.
a little different.
We all get different.
Yeah.
How old was that? How old were you there, would you say?
About 24.
24. 24. I can't remember 24.
24, 25. It might have been 25.
Okay.
Yeah, that was taken in Japan.
All
So
right.
I was probably about 25.
Okay. So do you have any medals, awards, ribbons? What did
Just
you-
a service medal.
Service medal?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you got back, did you have any souvenirs, by the way, from Japan and all your service? Did you keep anything from your service time?
Yes, I kept all my my railroad tracks. You know, my
Railroad tracks?
yeah, my lieutenant's bars, and I think I even have the ensign bar somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I kept those
Keep your uniform?
for a while, and then I gave it up, and I wished I hadn't, but I did. I kept my hat for a long time.
Kept your hat? Do you still have your hat?
No, I don't have.
What'd you give it up for? Why?
I don't know, just one of those moments when you just
Don't
decide
need
you
that
don't need that
anymore.
anymore. Yeah.
Okay. So we've had a lot of other family members in the military, haven't we?
Right, right.
Now, when you got out, were you in the reserves or anything like that?
No, no.
Okay. Any veterans groups, VFW or anything like that? American Legion?
Navy Nurse Corps Association.
What was it?
Navy Nurse Corps Association.
Are you still in that?
Yes,
Okay.
I've been for years.
Do they have conventions and meetings that you
Right,
go
right, every year.
to? Do you go?
I have gone about 3 times.
Okay. And they have those around somewhere that spread them around?
Yeah, they were like, well, all over. They have in North and South Carolina and Florida, California. Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about it? Would you recommend the military to anybody?
Yes, I have. My granddaughter's thinking about. She's thinking about the Air Force.
Oh, really?
So yes.
Okay. Trying to talk my grandson in the Air Force too. I don't know
yeah.
if he's going to do that. So, how old's your granddaughter?
She's 18.
Is she graduated from high school?
Yeah, she's in her last year. She goes to Shawnee, but she's in high school, but she's taking college courses.
Okay. Where'd she go to high school? Wheelersburg or
Out of Greene.
Grant?
Greene.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Well, I'm just glad that I got the chance to do it. It was a high point, you know, aside from my kids and raising my kids, it was a high point in my life.
Okay.
And, you know, it gave me lots of opportunities. I saw most of the Far East. I went on leave on Taiwan, Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Hong Kong.
After you got back, though, you went to work for a veterans VA hospital.
Veterans Hospital.
Where was that?
The first one was Cincinnati. And then
Did you live in Cincinnati?
I lived in Cincinnati, and I was there for, I had my 2 children. I was divorced then, and I raised my 2 children, and first went down there. My daughter started kindergarten, and my son was in 2nd grade. And then we were there for 9 years, and I worked for the VA during that time. And then I transferred to Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado. I never knew you were out there.
Yes, I was there for about 5 years. We lived out there, and
The kids were with you there?
yes,
Lake Park, Colorado?
yes.
Okay.
Well, their dad was there. That's
Okay.
where he lived, and that's where we went for a while, for 5 years. So.
Okay.
And then we came back here, and I worked for the Huntington VA Hospital for 13 years.
Is that where you retired out of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
After you retired, did you do anything else, job-wise, occupation-wise? or-
No, I didn't. No.
Just enjoyed retirement?
Right. Right. Right.
Well, okay, thanks a lot, I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just that I'm just so glad I was in Pensacola, or I was in the Navy to help in all the places I was, and that
You were in Japan during Tet?
yeah, the Tet invasion was '68, and it was the hospital was a 500-bed hospital
500
or
beds?
800-bed hospital.
800 beds.
Yeah, and at one point we had almost 1,500 patients there.
Oh my.
We had the guys in the halls on gurneys with screens around them, wherever we could put them.
Yeah.
And we would get 100 air vacs a day for a while.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was.
It kept you very busy then, didn't it?
Yeah, you pretty well saw yourself coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a great crew, you know. Everybody worked together.
Did it ever get to you in some ways? I mean, so much suffering.
Yeah, I can remember in the unit, I would crawl off in the corner of the medicine room and cry.
You would.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then,
Young kids, weren't they?
yeah, they were basically 18 to 27 range.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they were just kids. They shouldn't have, you know. Personally, we shouldn't have been there.
In Vietnam.
Yeah, we should have been there.
Right. Yeah. Think of anything else? Go ahead. Sing.
But, you know, you grow up thinking your country does everything good and the right thing, and you learn that that's not always true.
It's not always the right thing.
Right, it's not always the right thing. So,
Thanks, Linda. I really appreciate it.
okay, thanks.
Okay.